Alright, so we got some games here, right? Yeah, we got Miracle Piano. I think it's a miracle that I haven't broken this game with a hammer yet. So, yeah. Simpsons Barman meets Radioactive Man. Yeah, I mean, it's a piece of shit. What?
And today we're going to be playing, oh, you've got to be kidding me, WWF Wrestlemania? Like, come on, guys, there's better wrestling games than this out there. Give me a fucking break!
Good morning and welcome to NES Sports Closet, where today we're going to be reviewing WWF Wrestlemania for Nintendo. Now, where's my co-host? This is awesome. I actually get to do a game by myself for once. This is
Sorry, I'm late. I had a day with some Indonesian food late last night, and I just been on the toilet for hours.
Anyway, it's been a pathetic match last night. Hulk Hogan was facing off with the $6 million man, and I was really depressed because I was betting the Mafia that Hulk Hogan was going to win that match, and yet, out of nowhere, loss. $1 Million Man totally defeated Hulk Hogan like he forgot all of his moves. He was just walking around and walking around. He didn't know anything of what was going on. Did you watch the match last night? Why didn't you watch the match last night?
Spurs?
The Spurs weren't even playing last night. It's our...
Did I say they were playing? I just said Spurs.
Well, I'm just saying...
Maybe I was making Spurs.
It's our editorial duty...
Maybe I was making conversation about Spurs.
It's our editorial duty to make sure that we're ready for the morning show. Yeah, we're supposed to be talking... I mean, really, he shouldn't be having these issues. He's the best of the best in the 80s. What's going on here?
There's just too many wrestlers that are just bigger, stronger, faster, and know how to wrestle... Other than Hulk Hogan, who only knows 2 moves, and one of them's the laziest leg drop I've ever seen in my life.
Well, what about...
I am a real American, Where's his birth certificate?
I mean, I hear I'm a real American and I don't forget it. That little 8-bit MIDI theme song just gets stuck in my head every single time. And it's been in my head for days. It's been pulsating and pulsating and pulsating. They play it when he's losing. They're playing it when he's losing the match. Why? Why are they playing it when he's losing the match?
Because he's a crowd favorite.
Why is he a crowd favorite if he keeps losing the matches?
Why? Why?
Why what?
You asked me why.
If someone were to ask me, what's one thing about this game that you like, I would probably have to say the music. Now, the nice thing about the music is there's a bit of variety. You don't have a very large selection of wrestlers in the game, but for each one that you do have, there is a soundtrack that plays with them as they're in the ring. Now, I don't care for the sound effects in the game, so I guess it's kind of a 50-50 argument. The music is nice, it does get a bit repetitive. However, the sound effects themselves, mediocre to non-existent. I could take it or leave it, but as far as the music goes, I gotta say,
Let's talk about the
suits the
graphics.
game well.
Let's talk about the graphics.
You know, in all honesty, the graphics in the game really isn't all that bad. The problem lies with variety. Look at the screen right now. All you can see is the two wrestlers, which are actually well rendered, especially for the time of its release. And the wrestling mat isn't too bad either. They got the shading, the shadowing correct, the ropes look nice, the turnbuckles. But that's pretty much where our graphical adventure is going to end of this game. No crowd, no referee, no anything else. I do like the mugshots on the top though of the wrestlers. That's pretty nice.
They're fantastic. And by fantastic, I mean not even close to fantastic.
What's wrong with the graphics?
No ref, no crowd, no car to speak of!
Yeah, there is. There's plenty of color. It's just, in the pictures of the wrestler, there's no colors. But I think I know what they're going for. They're going for like 1940s mugshot. They're going for like film noir with this wrestling game. I could see what they were trying to do. Can't you?
Nope, I can't.
Yeah, why do you say that? What do you mean you don't? Come on, think about it. 1940s, LA, you know, surveilling the streets for crime, like a little bit of police force and whatnot, you know.
But this takes place in the late 80s, professional wrestling. This isn't Los Angeles in the 40s with no war!
Okay, fine.
Or whatever you
You
said.
seem to have... Alright, what are the biggest problems with the game?
Do you have corn on the cob in your ears? No crowd means no fans. No ref means no rules.
Player selection, you can go from 1 to 6 players. Now, good luck finding more than one other person to play this with you. I know I had no luck in doing so. Anyway, it's going to ask you to input your name. And now, I gotta complain about this. I mean, I could see a game where you use a save slot where you should put your name. I could see a game that maybe you create a character and you need to put your name. There's really no reason when your wrestlers already have names for you to put your name. But anyway, the character selection, there's 6 different wrestlers you can choose. I'm going through the list right now, you've probably already seen them all. But Hulk Hogan, Andre the Giant, $1 Million Man, Bam Bam Bigelow, who else was there? Honky Tonk Man. Pretty decent selection for the 80s. It is missing a few key point wrestlers, however, and I do have to dock points for that. But I'm only going to play as Hulk Hogan.
6 wrestlers to choose? Not even Doink?
Who wants to be Doink the
Doink
Clown?
the Dominator Clown?
Who wants to be Doink the Clown?
This guy right here wants to be Doink the Clown.
Maybe if you learn how to play. Okay, we're back. Now, we're going over WWF Wrestlemania.
I don't think we ever left. Keep going!
Let's try to stay on focus here. Okay.
In conclusion, why did we pick this for our first newscast? Why did we, Cody? Or should I say, Macho Man Randy Sandwich?
Okay. Sound.
I just did final conclusion. Get this bullshit out of here. What's the final conclusion? We went over sound like 3 times.
Well, since you asked so nicely, you know, we played this game for the first time, and we just realized immediately we had to review this game. We had to talk about the abomination that is this game. Now, although, like I said earlier, the graphics and the sound are pretty nice, I've gotta say, I mean, the gameplay and the controls are just what completely destroys this game. I mean, it's the ultimate leg drop in the WWF industry in video games. Problem is, the move in a fighting game, controls are everything. You can have bad graphics and have a good fighting game as long as the controls are intuitive and not cheap. This game has cheapness. You can get your opponent in the corner and just hit after hit. Your opponent can do the same to you. And not only that, but the controls don't make it... I can't figure out how to get any of the specials to work, and pinning them is a motherfucker. However, with that said, our final conclusion is...
Well, the final conclusion is that the game is awful. The game is awful even for the time it was released. WWF tried to get into the Nintendo Entertainment System because you got 2 major franchises coming into one. WWF, which everybody loved at the time, and everybody loved Hulk Hogan. So naturally, it was just an inevitable marriage between WWF, Hulk Hogan, and NES. It was just a threesome waiting to happen. However, it was poorly executed because the game... The controls are really awkward. You can't really do any of the moves. It's just not satisfying. You play games like Street Fighter. You even play games like...
Give it a fucking grade already!
Kung Fu. You play games like Kung Fu.
1 out of 10.
I give
Super duper to really shitty.
I give the game a 3 out of 10. It's
A 3?
a 3.
Goodbye.
Now. Good morning, and thank you for tuning in to NES Sports Closet. This morning, we're going to be reviewing WWF Wrestlemania for the NES. Now, I've been holding off for a little bit this time. I've been waiting for my partner to get here, but hopefully he'll be here any time now. Or I guess I could start this review on my own. Finally. Okay. Anyway, so the game. Starting from the beginning here.
Sorry I'm late. I had a date with some Indonesian food last night. I was on the toilet for hours!
Anyway, so our final conclusion on the game. I mean, being that the sound is decent and the graphics are nothing to write home about, and the gameplay is just utter garbage, we rate the game a 3 out of 10. Not a great game at all. Final thoughts?
On a scale of a Snickers to a Kit Kat, it's about a 100 grand bar.
The game ends. As a matter of fact, the last match in the game, if you play a single player, you actually have to wrestle yourself. Talk about realism from a WWF game.
I don't believe you, because you've never even actually beaten anybody in the game.